Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Ankerstar Wealth Morning Show. I'm your host, Allison Ankerstar, and today we'll be talking about today's inflation update, the latest on Unity software, and why you should consider a Roth conversion now. Before we begin, as a reminder, this is a financial education presentation and should not be construed as personal financial advice. Full disclaimer information is available at ankerstarwealth.com. Good morning, Steve. Inflation rose 9.1% in June. Obviously, this is bad for the economy, but how will it affect the stock market?
Well, unfortunately, good morning, Allison. No good news for the stock market this morning. So if anything, the surprise number for the inflation report, I'll bring it up here in a second. The 9.1, 8.8 was expected. So we were well into the green, not well into the green. We're almost 1% up this morning on the NASDAQ before this inflation report came out and down. Now we're down 2.5%. So this is going to reset expectations across the board. Excuse me. And if you will, when I talk of the bathtub, it's going to mean that we're in the bathtub that much longer, right? We have seen some good news. Last week was up. This week has not been too good as we go into earnings season. But certainly 9.1 inflation number is going to scare the crap out of everybody. If there is a good news or a silver lining built into this, one thing you need in a stock market that's traditionally said is you need the retail investor to capitulate. So if you're having feelings this morning of I can't take it anymore, I need to go to cash, that's you don't do that. Or if you need to do that, call me. Let's talk it through before you make that decision. But we probably are moving down. Today we'll probably move down, continue down Thursday and Friday. So based off of this news alone, right? So there is going to be what I think is another move down here. And if people are kind of giving up and rolling over, that is when you would, that is one of the criteria of the bottom is when the retail investor gives up, right? So if anything, overall, the stocks are going to get a lot cheaper today in the next couple of days. So think about being a net buyer. You don't have to be in a hurry to buy here because I think this keeps us in the bathtub longer. But certainly the Fed rate hike that's supposed to take place here in a couple of weeks in the next Fed meeting was either going to be 50 basis points or 75. This ensures that it will be 75, not ensures. Likely ensures that this will be a 75 basis point rate hike, which again is now continuing on that path of, need inflation to break, rate hikes continue to increase until it does break. But then again, the rate hikes will overshoot and eventually have to come back down. That's an opinion, but you'll hear me talk about that, almost every other day while we're on the morning show here. So overall, Allison, not good news from this morning, and we'll see how bad it gets today.
Next, Unity software reduced full-year revenue guidance, and the stock is down almost 10% this morning. Is ticker symbol U a buy, sell, or hold?
Well, here's Unity software. And to put it in simple terms, they make avatars for the metaverse, right? So if you just went what, then okay, what the metaverse, the conceptual world that's out there in many different forms. The avatars is where you replicate yourself into a digital form and off into the metaverse to operate and interact and those sorts of things. Well, they're a leader, if not the leader in this space. The stock has been crushed, and this morning doesn't help. They finally, if you see in the third sentence down there, cut their full revenue guidance. Well, if you're cutting revenue, just less money coming in the door, that just parlays into all kinds of other problems. They do also have a merger that's going through that, Unity slumped 8.2% pre-market. That was as of like 20 minutes ago. So check this out because it's not there right now. It's continuing on down 16% now. So when you look at a 6-month chart of Unity software, which I would consider, again, a leading firm in the space, look at that. Just completely been crushed, down from 110 down to goodness, $33. At some point, things become so cheap that they're a buy. Is Unity a software a buy here? It's on my buy list, is what I will say. Is when can you hop into something that's 72% off, losing money hand over fist? It's like, Steve, you say day over day, stay clear of companies like this. Well, the only companies you can get in like this are tech firms that are going to come raging back whenever that time is. So again, no hurry to get money into this name, but certainly if you're with me, you can expect to be back in the Unity software probably by the end of the year at some point, and we'll probably move in pretty big. So again, we'll wait and see how things play out. So it's a buy list item now, not necessarily a straight buy.
Last, Roth conversions can help people save money over their lifetime by paying taxes now for lifetime tax-free growth. Is now a good time for Roth conversions?
Well, for those of you that work with me for any amount of time, you'll hear me talk about how the Roth IRA is such an amazing deal. You pay your taxes in, when you earn the money, and then the money goes tax free. So that's a little history lesson. So when the regular IRA came about, or it's been around for a long time, but when it got really popular, say the 80s, the gain there is that you get to save taxes now when you earn the money, if you go into a traditional IRA, so you don't have to pay the government now, and then your money accumulates over your working lifetime, if you will, 3 or 4 decades for most people. And at that point, the number has gotten significant, and then you'd worry about your taxes later when you're not working anymore. So then, your income goes to zero or near zero, and then that's when you start taking those distributions to live off of. So 2 problems with that. The rates, well, first of all, the not working later, most people that accumulate, a 7-figure plus IRA or 401k, IRA, same things or same rules. They aren't the people that like to retire when it comes time to retire, right? It's more of the, strong worker, likes, gets fulfilled by work, workaholic, or whatever you want to call it, but they have skill set that enables a higher level of compensation. They don't want to step away from that late just because they became, older. I've thrown myself in that category. I can't imagine a day that I'm like fully retired. I think that is a long way off, or maybe never. We shall see. But so that's one thing with the IRA, is you don't know that you're not going to have income later. And then second part of that is you have to look at where we are historically with taxes. Kind of like with interest rates, when we're sitting around, 2.5%, 3% interest rate, well, 0 interest rate, but when mortgages were down to 3% for, like 8 years, we were talking about, these are historic lows. You need to take advantage of them. I think also, if you look at our tax rates, so relaying that to tax rates, we are at historic lows in taxes. We really are. Taxes, I think, have to go up. So if you're going to pay taxes, would you rather pay taxes now, or wait for your asset to double or triple or quadruple or eighttuple? If that's a word, it's probably not. Octuple, I don't know. But once it gets a lot bigger, then you're going to pay taxes on a lot bigger chunk of money, and the tax rates could probably be higher. I would have to say that's probable. So if you want, you need to talk this through before you pull any triggers here, because it is a taxable event. But if you're interested in talking through, these sell-offs in the market are the times to do the conversion. It's usually when most people are looking away. It's actually time to look to convert that to Roth money while the shares are down. And then when they scream higher, it'll be tax-free. So if you want to talk that through, reach out to me. I'll make time for you, and we can figure out if it's right for you. But overall, now is a pretty good time to do a Roth IRA conversion.
Thank you, everyone, for your questions. Please submit your questions as a comment through social media or directly to our email at vipservices@ankerstarwealth.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe to get daily updates. That's all we have for today's show. I'm Allison Ankerstar, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.